What's going on, my friend? Welcome back, Dating Tribe, to another session of the Dating Insights Lab. I'm Coach Nate, and we're going to dive right into how to improve your dating life starting today, right now. Here's a disclaimer real quick. These are steps that you're going to do to kind of work on yourself to make your dating life 100% better. Because here's the secret, in that to make your dating life better, it is an inside-out process. So if you don't believe me, then click out of the video now, go do something else if you're really that entitled. But listen, you need to stick around if you actually want to fix it. If you're in the mindset that you're done doing all the crap that doesn't work and you want to start the journey of being awesome at dating, finding your ideal partner, getting rid of this gobbledygook, then stick with me and let's dive into these awesome stuff. The first one, it's gonna sound kind of, I don't know, like I'm some kind of hippie or some kind of like guru from the mountains, but that's okay. And what it is I want you to meditate on your dating process, or think through why your dating process has not worked up until now. Now look, again, like I said earlier, it's an inside-out process, but what a lot of people do with dating is they keep trying the same thing over and over again that doesn't work, but, fitting that round, peg in the square hole, whatever you want to call it, and sitting back and just saying, well, dating in 2022 sucks, my life sucks, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to tell you there's a missing piece of what you're doing that is, in all likelihood, the reason that you're not getting the results that you want. And one of the comparisons I make with clients sometimes is, oftentimes I'll tell them, hey, look, we have about similar looks, similar build, whatever. Like I don't drive some crazy sports car, something like that. But why is it, Mr. and Mrs. Client, that I could go to the shopping mall right now, I could go to the grocery store, get a couple phone numbers, and you're not able to do that? And it's not like a thing of it's not Coach Nate trying to flex on you or be a jerk. But what I am saying is I did this step way back in my early to mid 20s. I was trying to, find out hey, if I come across as really douchey, that's going to turn a lot of people in general off, much less the opposite sex, right? It kind of makes sense when you break it down logically. So I'm just asking you to break down your own situation logically. Figure out why why people kind of don't like you, why maybe men or women, depending on what sex you are, don't like you, and start to come to a point of hey, you know what? I have this really bad habit. I have this really bad social thing that I do. If I calm that down or stop it, I can probably get more or better results out of my dating. So my friend, the next step, now that we're here, is to actually do the inner work. So this is something that a lot of people kind of miss, and especially if they're super entitled. So again, if you're super entitled, this probably isn't the video for you, and that's okay. But listen, now that you've thought through, okay, well, I do this and it hasn't worked, and I do that and it hasn't worked, I also need you to kind of start to do some inner work on maybe becoming a less selfish person, maybe becoming a better person, maybe how to be more outgoing, maybe how to increase your social circle, all these things that are at least a little bit below the surface, but really, really help. And it also starts to kind of help you understand truly in your mind that increasing your dating game for real, to get real results that you actually want, is kind of understanding that it's a lot of emotional dynamic and not really a lot of surface level or material goods dynamic. And just quickly, what I mean by that is people that have a tough time with their dating life, they tend to think that it's something that they're lacking from a material good standpoint. Hey, I'm not in shape enough, or I don't have enough money, or I don't drive some awesome car, I'm not an Instagram model. I'm not some influencer. My bank account doesn't have 20,000 cash in it ready to go. And I'm telling you, those material things, of course, can help, right? You know, like, as a guy, if I'm more fit than I was 3 months ago, yes, that can increase your chances a little bit. But it's far from the end-all be-all. It's just not. It's not the secret sauce. And the secret sauce is really to identify the emotional things that evoke people into liking you, into wanting to get more into your world, stuff like that. So again, now that you thought through what isn't working, now you want to start to think through what you can kind of improve on as a person in general. So now we're at this point where, as a person, you're starting to walk this journey of self-improvement, of like changing your image, changing who you are for the better. Not changing your soul, because I'm still the same dude as I was when I was like 25, right? Like, I'm still technically the same person, and there are many aspects of myself that haven't changed. Especially in regard to like insecurity and anxiety and stuff like that. Like, I still battle that stuff, man, I'm telling you. But hear me out though. What a lot of people that are kind of in my circle have noticed is that I'm still way different than then. I'm Nate, but I'm like Nate 3.0 that went a few steps from Nate 1.0, right? So part of the point I'm trying to make is you want to adopt this attitude, like this awesome attitude that you're just on a journey to like learn about yourself, learn, like get more out of life, like have more fun. And being on a journey like that, having an attitude like that is highly attractive, my friend. It's very, very attractive to the people around you. When you're just kind of cool with whatever and tell me more about that, you ask open-ended questions to people, stuff like that are the things that get people in general to like you more, but especially are very attractive to the opposite sex, would be very attractive to your ideal partner. So it's just to give you a quick example of this. Let's say you met me, whether you're a dude or not, let's say we met at like a coffee shop or something, like we're standing in line waiting for a coffee and you met me. And if I was just like, hey, I'm Nate, and you're like, hey, I'm Bob, you know, like there's nothing there. It's surface level. It's got no value. It's almost like a drag, right? But what's different is if you're more in that attitude camp of like, hey, I'm Nate, you know, good to meet you, Bob. Like, what are you into, man? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, you know, I'm into camping and fishing and I do this. Me as a person on that self-improvement journey, if I'm like, oh, cool, dude, tell me more about camping. Like, do you do like glamping with an RV? Are you more into like tent camping? Are you more into this, right? Like asking those open-ended questions, me wanting to like actually wanting to learn about this person and their interests and what they do. That's highly attractive, and at the end of that, he might be my friend. You know what I mean? So having an attitude like that upgrades you to like being a premium dating prospect when you really want to get to know people better and what they're into. But if you're just that socially awkward person that's just like, oh yeah, it's fine to meet you, you know, you're gonna have a way rougher time out there. So again, what I'm trying to tell you is walk this path of life where you're just on this awesome journey, learning about things and people, and you're just out there looking for your ideal partner. It's going to be attractive, and you can invite them to come on the journey with you, my friend. And again, I know I keep saying it, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's highly attractive. So last thing I'm going to have for you on this is I need you to adopt the magic attitude. And what is the magic attitude? Well, that is the attitude of, if something happens, cool. If something doesn't happen, also cool. I want that to sink in a little bit. I want you to think about how you can use that attitude in dating situations. So very commonly, people that have a tough time dating, they put expectations on situations, either way too much, way too little, don't know where that middle ground is. And what happens is they're not able to walk that path properly that I was talking about before, right? So for men, for example, it's almost like an entitlement, but they'll make a new dating profile on a new dating website that they haven't used before. And they put 20 minutes into making this profile, and they message 5 different women and just sit there and expect results. And they didn't put any good thought into it. They didn't go below the surface on themselves, right? And with that expectation, they get really disappointed when the results don't come. And then they're just, here's the attitude. Dating sucks. Again, it's very entitled, right? Just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work in general. Where what would dramatically help that person right there is just message people asking about who they are, what they're like, having no expectation from it. Hey, I'm just on this journey. I want to get to know you, Mrs. Female, right? See what you're about. And if it's both cool, then maybe we'll go on dates. But if not, that's cool too. If you have this magic attitude, again, it's way more attractive than Mr. Entitled, Mr. Socially Awkward, Mr. It's Not Working. And I hate to say it, with women, it works very similar, but just in a different way. So with women on this concept, what happens with them is they actually typically get a lot of inbound from a lot of creepy guys. Now, unfortunately, the internet has been around a long time. Dating apps have been around a long time. And unfortunately, when you get a massive pile of crap, it's going to stink, right? If you drive past a farm where there's a lot of poop, it's going to stink. Part of life. And unfortunately, ladies, what happens when you make a new dating profile, when you post in a Facebook dating group, something like that, you're probably going to get a lot of unwanted inbound. And unfortunately, where you have to adopt that attitude of like, if something happens, cool, if it doesn't, is just truly understanding you're going to get a lot of inbound from the cesspool. The cesspool is like reaching up and trying to get at you. It's like creepy, it's gross, and I don't think it's right. I think it's just as gross as you do, and I'm not making an excuse for it. I don't think it should be there, but the unfortunate thing is that there are tons of low quality dating prospects that are just gonna half-ass reach out at you and be real creepy about it. So if you're a lady watching this, I would say, just keep in mind, hey, it's just an unfortunate bad part of online dating. Now, the thing is though, is sometimes you can sift through a lot of those bad inbound messages and find a dude that's just a regular dude that doesn't really know how to online date, but once you meet him in person, he could be this awesome diamond in the rough. He could be just a regular career guy that's looking for, a regular girl to just have an awesome life with. So sometimes with female clients, something I cover is a concept I call sifting, where you gotta, unfortunately look through all those messages at least quickly and find a message from a decent looking guy that seems decently normal. And again, you gotta remember, he probably doesn't have me in his corner helping him to maximize that dating profile, right? But if you emotionally draw out of him who he is and what he wants and what the expectation is, then a lot of time you can have some good results finding diamonds. So my friend, thank you so much for watching, and I just want to ask you to please become a subscriber. Please like the video, it really helps the algorithms. I'd really like to grow the channel a little bit from where it is now. Unfortunately, I'm a pretty small channel, but I do think that I am able to hammer home for real dating truth out there. Also too, if you want to learn a little bit more about me, my practice, what I do, I would encourage you to visit me over at pattersoncoaching.wny.com, and it's got all my direct info there. You can actually call me, you can text me, you can email me, whatever, just not only your dating questions, but what I offer is high-end one-on-one dating coaching. I don't do a class, I don't do anything like that. I don't do dating school. I offer one-on-one coaching to help you get exactly where you want to go, tailored to you, no BS. So if that's what you want, please feel free to reach out, and we'll see you in the next one.